Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to make an art panel, one of these big boys, and also one of the small ones. First thing, you need a print, an art print, which I print off in my printing room. Then you need optical clear double-sided film. This film's super thin, sticky on both sides, and optical clear, so you can see right through it, you don't know it's there. And that goes on the print. You need two of them. Then you need a perspex face that goes on the front. And then you need aluminium composite panel. This is black-white aluminium composite panel, very stiff. And that stiffens up the art piece. And all this has to be put together with no bubbles and then taken out and resawn around. And then we're going to make a backing frame. The backing frame is made out of pine, which gets silicon to the back of the art print, and then aluminium is screwed onto the back so you can hang it on the wall. And everything's got to be put together with no bubbles, guys. Just getting the aluminium composite panel out of my shed there, out of the rack. See how stiff it is? And then dragging it into the shed as I do. Now I've got to get it up on the saw. So it's a bit awkward, but I manage it eventually. It's a small shed for a big sheet, so I've got to be careful. And I can squeeze past there, right? Now I can cut it into thirds on the saw. It cuts really easy, the stuff. This is rigid. There you go. All cut. See how the other bit of the sheet stays there? You watch the next bit we cut. This stuff is like bloody wrestling a snake. Finally get up on the saw, and then I hold it up best I can, cut it sideways. And just let the other half drop. Watch the blade down. There you go. And of course, it ends up on the floor, of course. Yeah, story of my day. And then I cut it the other way now to get the panels out. I ended up getting 12 art panels out of each sheet. Cut all the perspex and the aluminium composite panel. You see how bloody floppy the perspex is to cut. It's very hard, very difficult in a shed this size to cut a big 8x4 sheet, but I just manage. Next trick is I've got to rip the paper off. Ripping the paper off the aluminium's easy, but the perspex, bloody hard. Ripping the paper off the perspex, sometimes it's easy, but see, it just rips. You can't get it off in one hit. Get all these little straggly bits. Sometimes I've got to soak it in terps to get the paper off. So we'll do that now, guys. Okay, now I'm inside my kitchen, aka my part of my print room. I'm cutting the film now. Still lining it up. I've got a little packet there that I use to cut the film with. And again, I get 4 pieces out of each piece of film. And you see how they curling up at the ends? See how they're real curly? Now I'm putting the header board onto the perspex. Just taping it on, just on the edge. And spinning it over. And putting some hinge pieces on the side there, three little strips of masking tape to hold it in place. Now flip it over again. Now we get the film, lay it out the best we can, but it's all very floppy at the moment. Then that's double-sided sticky tape. Just need a little bit of that on the edge. Push the film down onto it. Rub it in with your thumb. get a bit of masking tape and quickly pull it. That pulls the backing paper up. So the backing paper holds down. Now we flip it over. Be careful it doesn't stick to itself. And then we put a big nice crease in it. Bit of masking tape to hold it so it doesn't flip back again. And turn it over again. And stick it down to the header board. Make sure it's all in line. Just gently stick it down. Okay, now take it into my laminating room, aka my lounge room, and put it through my homemade laminator. Now we've got to clean the perspex. Got to make sure every bit of dust is off that. With your hand is the best way to do it, but you can feel the dust. Now we're ripping the backing paper off, and look how flat this is now when the paper is ripped off it. See how flat it is now? You start the laminator goes very, very slowly. Very slowly, so I'll speed this up for you in a minute. And you see 10 times the speed. There you go, make sure it's over the roller, otherwise you get a bubble. You can't have any bubbles. There you go. Now I'm back in the kitchen area, and then I will take the other half of the film off. It's a double-sided the film, so this is the tissue paper side. So I roll that back, again with a bit of masking tape, hold it there. That's the print we're using, so we do with teddy bear. And line it up, I've got a couple of marks there on the print. Line it up the best you can. And just gently stick it down to the leaderboard. Just gently stick it down. There you go. Now back into the laminating room. And now we're going to take the backing paper off the other side of the perspex. See, it's like tissue paper, guys. You got to be very careful that it comes off on one, but it can split. Now we're rolling it 10 times the speed. Make sure it's lined up with the roller. Make sure if it comes off it, you get a bubble. There you go. Print's done. But you see how floppy it is? Very floppy. That's why we need a backing piece. So again, I've got to put a film on the back of that again, which I already have. And now we'll put the tissue paper side. We'll take that off. So it's a bit of a process doing this. And now we're going to stick the aluminium composite panel on to stiffen it right up. Black white, I normally put the black side down. Just line it up. Bit of a whack down just to hold it for a minute. And then back to the laminator. Put it for the laminator, 10 times the speed. And there you go. All done, ready to cut. So we do with teddy bear. You can see how stiff that is now. Finished making the panel. Look at that. Come out great. Got a white back with the aluminium composite panel and make it very stiff. All we have to do now is to cut it to size and then file the edges and then make the back frame. Okay, just cutting it now on my table saw. See that the print was put on a bit of an angle, so I can cut it straight with the table saw and run it up against the fence. So you don't see any white. There you go. And now we'll cut the top and bottom off the same. Make sure you just cut all the white off. And then after that we have to file the edges. The edges are very sharp now. Yeah, all done. Filing the edges as we go. With a file top, bottom, all the way around, both sides. Now cutting the pine for the backing frame. A little bit of pine there I cut, 3/4 of an inch. Sanding it up on the sander, make sure there's no sharp edges. And putting the silicone on now to stick it to the back of the R panel. I've got some packet there to line it up. Just rub it in a bit so the silicone takes. And now drilling the aluminium so I can screw the aluminium onto the top and bottom. And screwing it on with a small pan head screws, so when it hangs on your wall, it doesn't hurt your wall. All we need now is a good clean. And we're done. Come on, Craig, guys. We're all finished. The soldier with the teddy bear. Come out great, didn't it? You just see how much work goes into these panels. There's a lot of work goes into them. And they're fairly expensive too. This panel cost me about, I'd say about 28 bucks to make. But the aluminium composite panel and perspex ain't cheap, guys. Ain't cheap at all. And the film, that's not cheap either. So you see there's a lot of work goes into them. And I just give them away. I got all my small panels, which I give away every week. And I give away some of the big ones too, every now and again. There's no point making art if you're just going to throw it in the corner. So thanks for joining me this week to see how a panel was made. And join me again next week, where we'll be giving away some art, I suspect, somewhere. So come on and join me next week. So please subscribe and join me next week. See you guys.